sports content, head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network live. WoodwardSports.com. As always, Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. Jeff, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
It's Masters Week.
Yes, it is. Coming off the national championship game. Congrats to UConn for winning it all. I know it wasn't.
Did you watch?
I did. I tuned in.
Wow, you're one of the 7 people.
Well,
that is impressive. I know one of the 7 people that watched. Wow.
I wouldn't be honest with you. I actually enjoyed the women's national championship game more. But it is
look
what
at you,
is.
Mr. PC,
Just
PR. You're just trying to win brownie
Well, there was
points.
just more storylines. Like,
look at this
quite
guy.
frankly,
Sitting over here trying to win social
Angel
media
Reese,
points.
Caitlin Clark. It was more entertaining, but still, UConn got it done.
Yeah, 20-point blowout. Totally entertaining, right?
At least I got to see some star power with the women.
We were talking about this before the show, by the way. Is baseball dead? And you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. But in reality, it just depends on where you live, right? Because if this Detroit Tigers team was as good as the Mets or the Dodgers, you know, peak Detroit, let's go back to our heyday maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago. Like, it's not, actually, in theory. It's just you have 162 reasons to just enjoy Tiger baseball when you're a really good team, right? You can use that as a rule of thumb for any baseball team. But when you suck, that's the problem. Because you have 162 reasons to end your life. And trust me, nobody needs it.
It's a lot of reasons.
It's a lot of reasons. It's tough. It's tough. And to equate that, think about this. Your favorite professional football team plays 17 games a year. A few years ago, it was 16. 10 NFL seasons equate to 1 regular season of Major League Baseball. Think about that. So the amount of suck hurts so much more in baseball. It's awful. It's awful. They did win, by the way, last night.
Yeah.
Woo! Ha! 1 in 161. Here we go. Can't wait. We're going to have some fun today.
7 runs.
Ooh,
Let's go.
impressive.
Let's go,
From
boys.
players. Spencer Torkelson got a hit. He's not batting 133, huh?
Let's go.
It's too early. I'm being cynical. I'm being an asshole. But I just want to enjoy Tigers baseball. That's all I want. I'm not asking for much. The same thing with the Pistons that Jeff continues to sell me on. It's coming. It's coming. I just want to enjoy basketball games. I don't want to watch people run around, not play defense, and have no idea what to do on offense. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for the very, very, very bare minimum. But here we are. We're going to have a great show today. Coming up at 8:15, I'm going to release a top 10 quarterbacks list, all right, in the NFC. And, Jeff, you're going to hate me for this. Based off of the dude you showed me yesterday, I felt inclined to make my own that I felt was more accurate. You'll tell me if I'm right or wrong coming up at 8:15. 8:30, we'll get to phone calls and fan mock drafts, so we'll do an entire 15 minutes just for you guys. Your thoughts, what the Lions should do. 8:45, I have an NFL draft confession.
And this isn't Kancey related.
This is not Kalijah Kancey related at all.
We'll clear that up.
This has nothing to do with Kalijah Kancey at all. I am completely out on this player being an option at 6 or at 18.
I don't know if I like where you're going with this.
I am completely out, and I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't. 9 o'clock, and Brad Holmes we trust. That's going to be fun. We get to talk about Brad Holmes, his previous drafts, and why this draft, I think, is probably the most difficult for the Lions. Because you look at them on paper right now, they've addressed the secondary, right? They've shored up their backfield. They look like a 10-win football team right now. So can you afford to miss and take a few risks? You probably can. Or do you just settle for the guarantees? Who knows? Nothing's a guarantee anymore in the NFL, but hey, it's the way we like to think about it. So we'll get to that top of the hour, 9:15. NFL team tier lists. I think there's tiers of contenders and teams that are just, they're going to be there.
Meh.
But meh
is
the feeling. Where the Lions end up, I think will piss you off, Jeff. I don't know if you'll like it. So we'll get to
Okay.
Jalen Carter, by the way, at 9:30. That'll be interesting. Jeff, whatever. He's not speaking to top 10 teams. We'll get to it. I don't even want to say anything. I plead the fifth until 9:30. Anyways, that's going to be the show today. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. We'll start, though, with the men's national championship game. UConn winning in incredible fashion, and I don't care. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
I genuinely stopped watching after Michigan State got bounced.
Yes.
And I didn't watch a single opening round game of 64. I didn't watch a single one. I just didn't give a fuck. And I don't know why. I'm not saying that's national, that's what all of you think or how you feel. I just didn't care. And I didn't watch the women's national championship game. I didn't watch the men's. All I know is the better defense clearly won the game in UConn. And that's the story.
Yeah, UConn.
And I don't care.
If we're being honest here, I mean, they have, I guess, more pro talent guys, and it wasn't the most entertaining. I mean, you look at blue chip programs, UConn, just one of those programs, but San Diego State was just happy to be there. Let's be honest with you. It wasn't LSU and Iowa like the women's, but still, if you like hoops, you tuned into the game. Wasn't that entertaining, though? I mean, UConn had that thing in the first half, so it is what it is. I knew it wouldn't have the same ratings or it wouldn't be the same magnitude as the women's. I mean, we kind of knew that going in. But still, it is March Madness.
I mean, look.
Somebody has to win.
It's not. March Madness is exactly what it's labeled. It's all the good teams suck in the first two rounds and they get bounced. And then there's the few teams that get through. And then by the end of it, it typically balances out with the teams that have the best defense. That's why Izzo has had so much success for such a long period of time. Because his teams focus up and button up on defense come March.
What about this comment? Booner, WoodwardSports.com says college basketball is 10 times more interesting than baseball.
Well, that's what is that? What does that mean, right? That's like saying it's more entertaining to watch shit go down the toilet than to watch somebody shit. They're both shit.
Yo!
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sitting through an entire college basketball game. I am not sitting through an entire baseball game.
Jesus.
Both are shit. I'm sorry.
I'm just still trying to process that analogy. I don't want to visualize it, but okay, we'll go with that. That's fair. I like college basketball. But
yeah, you like bad basketball. Clearly, you're a Pistons
bad
fan
basketball. Oh my
yeah.
God!
Oh, yeah.
Don't start me with this morning.
there's an
It's
art to college
8:08. I don't
basketball.
need this morning. All
Yeah.
right, it's 8:08.
It's 8:08, and on 8:08 and 20, 30, 40, 50 days from now, when the Pistons lottery ball falls to third, you're going to come on the show, and I'm going to have to talk you out of killing yourself.
Well, there's a home game tonight. I'll be at the home game tomorrow.
Hey, 20 of 21.
Shout out
Let's
to
go.
Booner for that. But yeah, it's going to be rough.
I was invited to go to a Pistons game on Wednesday.
Last
And
Wednesday?
This Wednesday.
Oh, that's
I'm
what
not
going
going to say who invited me. I can't release my sources.
Oh my gosh, Dwayne Casey.
No. But I had to decline. Obviously, I'm fasting. I'm not gonna break my fast at a fucking basketball game. It's very difficult alone to do it the whole day, let alone at a game. Anyways,
I want to see you at a Pistons game.
I refuse to go to a Pistons game.
Oh my God.
I've been to a Tigers game last year.
This guy.
I don't go to NFL games. I prefer watching them at home. It's just a personal preference, to be honest with you. I don't enjoy them as much as I do at home. That I would at the stadium. Playoff football, that's a whole different conversation. Of course you go. I've been to a Michigan game, Michigan-Ohio State, been to a Michigan State game. I can't convince myself to go watch the Detroit Pistons. Spend $140 on a pair of tickets.
Is that?
And take
Where you
my
sitting?
wife. I sit middle, you know?
I mean, okay.
I got to enjoy the game.
No, I
I
get
got to
that.
enjoy
But
it. If
they
I'm going,
stink.
I'm going to enjoy myself, right?
100%.
I'm a big believer in that. If you're going to do something, do it and enjoy it. You know? But anyways, I haven't gone to a game yet, and I don't think I will the rest of the year. Maybe they can convince me next year.
The Doc joined the chat. He said, Jeff must love UM hoops because of my taste for bad basketball. Yeah, well, it seems like U of M, by the way, and I'd love to talk to Sam Flannel about this. They're just falling apart at the seams. I mean, you got guys, everyone's getting out of there. So, Juwan Howard. Would love to hear Michigan fans' opinion on that.
Yeah, look,
I know how you feel about Juwan Howard. And I know how Sam feels about Juwan.
Are we doing this today? I didn't know we were doing the Juwan Howard conversation today.
Sam Flannel, his quote is, he burned down what John Beilein built, and he says that on Big D a lot.
I'm glad somebody acknowledged it.
There you go.
I'm glad he won with Juwan with Beilein's team, and then completely burned the entire university down. Great.
Nice.
Great. Soon enough, if you keep Juwan Howard for a few more years, you might have an interesting title.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we might have Migos come up with the ad-lib for you. Can't wait for that.
That'd be... Hey, well, I approve of that.
Only Jeff, by the way, and JB understand what I'm saying. It's an inside joke. We debate on telling it on the show or not, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're going to have fun. Coming up next, top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC. Jared Goff was left out of the top 5 according to Adham Rank. Who had Justin Fields at number 1, which is laughable.
It's terrible.
And the one thing he did get right is that Jalen Hurts is one of the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFC. He's really won, but okay, whatever. Lee left Matthew Stafford off the list, which I thought was very funny. So let's get to the list, okay? He had Derek Carr creeping in the top 5.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate. I will be fair. I don't hate. That offensive line, those weapons, Derek Carr has no excuses this year. And if we operate on the idea of it working, Derek Carr has arguably a top 5 situation in the NFC right now. He's got a very good defense. He's got a coach that he had before. He's got weapons. No excuses for Derek Carr not to turn around his career at the number he's getting paid. Having said that, we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll get to the quarterback list. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Even though I don't get to watch too much defense here at these Pistons games, I know what place I can go for all my defensive needs, and that's Guardian Alarm. Because if you get Guardian Alarm, they'll give you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's not only been proven to work, but by people that have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Jumpin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Jumpin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Jumpin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. Give Dr. Jason and his amazing staff a call, 844-789-8446. Start your life-changing journey with our good friends over at Custom Health Centers. Give them a call. Let them know I sent you, Jeff sent you. It doesn't matter who sent you. The point is to go take care of your life, your health, and be a better you. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Here's what we're going to do. Okay? I got a top 10 quarterback list, and before we throw it up on the screen, before we do any of that, okay, I want to acknowledge 2 things, okay? And I want to go around the room and just give me a general yes, consensus, so we can agree, because I don't want to spend 10 minutes on who's 1 and 2. I don't. I think it's a given. So is it fair, JB, Broder, Jeff, is it fair for me to say Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC?
No, it's not only fair, it's a fact. He's the best.
So we're all shaking our heads. We all agree. Cool.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Thank you, guys. Is it fair to say that Jared Goff had the second statistical best season last year in the NFC?
Oh, yeah.
Among all quarterbacks outside of Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
Facts.
Facts, right?
Those are factual. Yep, those are factual.
Okay, so if you're asking me who the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC are, I am going to go based on recent production. Yes, of course, last season. I'm also going to take into consideration their situation, if I like it, if I don't. And I'm also going to consider what they've proven in their career. I think that does matter a little bit. It's not the majority, but 10-15% should be, hey, what have you done in your career, right? So here's my top 10 list. We'll start with Jalen Hurts, number 1 on the list. I don't think you can go wrong here. Number 2, Jared Goff. And I'm sorry to pass over Jalen Hurts so quickly, but it's obvious. It's the easiest answer. I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to give? Alex, if you don't mind, when you get a chance. Jalen Hurts, the obvious one. Jared Goff, number 2. Jared Goff, to me, it's... Look, I get it. There's Stafford. There's Derek Carr, Prescott. There's all these guys in the NFC. And a year ago, you would have not even had Jared Goff among the 4 best, probably. But he's coming off one of the best seasons of his career. He's got a great situation, a great offensive line, a very deep backfield, wide receivers galore. He's going to have an improved defense. Jared Goff has arguably one of the 2-3 best situations in all of the NFC, among all these quarterbacks. Jared Goff is number 2 on this list for me. Number 3, making a return a bit higher than I probably wanted to, but there's no denying, excuse me, Jeff, that Matthew Stafford is among one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFC. His track record speaks for itself. Last year, injuries, no offensive line, no run game, wide receivers all getting hurt. Shit happens. Do I expect LA to be a contender this year? I don't. I actually don't like his situation. I like the New Orleans situation. I like the Cowboys situation more than Stafford. But would I rather have Matthew Stafford over any of these guys past him? Yeah, I would. Number 4, Derek Carr. I hinted at this earlier. Derek Carr has such an interesting scenario. Is he the 4th best quarterback by default? No, I don't think so. I think he has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
But he's got one of the best situations in the NFC. He's got one of the top 3 defenses in the NFC. Top 4, you can make the argument. He's got the weapons. He's got the running back. He's got a coach that believes in him. He's got a place that wants him. I think that does matter. We've seen that. Jared Goff, the tail end of his LA career, they didn't want him. Comes to Detroit, and after a rough first year, they believe in him. They want him. They put everything around him, and he delivers. I think the same can be said for Derek Carr. Number 5, Dak Prescott. Between him and Kirk Cousins, they're 5 and 6 for me. They're the same quarterback. I don't like either. They're just glorified versions of themselves. They're average quarterbacks, but I got to give Dak the nod because of his situation. Dallas does field a very good defense. They do have some weapons. Hard to pick against Dak, against any of these guys after him. Kirk Cousins, I really wanted to have him lower, and it was hard for me to not put Kyler Murray ahead of him, but I questioned so many things with Kyler Murray. I don't know what I'm getting. He has a defensive coordinator now as his head coach. I like to think Shane Steichen, between him and Gannon, I think Steichen is going to absolutely crush it if I were to put my money on it between him and Jonathan Gannon. I don't like Kyler's situation. We don't know what's going on with D-Hop. So 6 is Kirk Cousins. He's got the receiver. He's got the best receiver, arguably, in the NFL. I'm going Kirk at 6, 7 Kyler Murray. I'm going to skip past Kyler. 8, Geno Smith. Geno Smith is coming off a very good year, but now the reports are coming out, they're going to go for Anthony Richardson. Possibly. That's a very interesting thing for Seattle to do.
And listen, Geno had a great year, but I never liked one year he's already a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Like, over
well, he
Matthew.
has no business. And you know what he is, Jeff? He's an average quarterback.
Yes, he is.
And he's below average more often than not.
Yeah, he had a great season.
He had a great start, and he really teetered out down the stretch. I'm not buying Geno Smith. Daniel Jones, I can't believe the Giants paid him. And I know it's friendly to New York. I know there's outs. I know there's a million things that go in it. But Brian Dable must be full of himself. He must have an ego higher than most to say, yeah, that's my guy, and I'll win with him. Don't worry about it. I got it. My goodness, Brian Dable, good on you. And then, of course, we'll round out the top 10 list. I'm not putting any other quarterback other than who goes 1, which will be Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. They'll be top 10 by default. Carolina, they got to figure out the wide receiver situation, but I like the rookie quarterback more than I like any other quarterback. Kyle Trask or whoever the hell else you want to name. Brock Purdy is meh. They're winning because of Kyle Shanahan and that all-pro team. So I'm not buying stock into the San Francisco quarterbacks. I need to see more, whether it's Trey Lance or Brock Purdy. So that's my top 10 list, Jeff. What do you think?
Well, I think the fact that you have you would have a rookie that hasn't played yet at 10 means kind of speaks to how bad the NFC is.
Oh, it's bad.
I mean, like, even for Stroud or Young, and I agree, I think going into the league, those guys will, be in the conversation, especially in Carolina. It's a great situation. You got a run game, you got weapons, you got a defense. I like Frank Reich to some extent, so it's a good situation for either of those rookies. So I don't hate this list. I actually respect two things. One, how real you are about Geno Smith, because don't get me wrong, had a great season, but to follow that up again, I'd have to wait and see for that. And then for Derek Carr, it is what it is. I think the last 2 seasons he struggled, but I think that's more about the situation he was in. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he plays well with the Saints. Even though Dak had a bad season last year, I mean, the guy still threw 37 touchdowns the year prior. So, you
upset that I didn't have Justin Fields on here?
No, I'm not. I mean, if you want to put Justin Fields over Stroud or Young, okay. Like, that 10 spot to me is just
it's whatever.
Whoever. Yeah, you put Brock there, I don't care. The other 9, though, I think are pretty standard. I think you got this one correct.
Here.
Now, if you have a problem with Derek at 4, whatever it is, I think you got the 9 correct.
Is it fair for me to say, what if I broke this list down for you this way? I like 4 quarterbacks in the NFC, and I don't like anyone else. I like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I like Jared Goff, especially in Detroit. I like Matthew Stafford. I like Derek Carr. I don't like anybody else. None of them. None of them. And to be more frank with you, to be even more frank, if I'm starting a franchise today, Jalen Hurts is my pick, and everybody else no. And if you told me I couldn't get Jalen Hurts, I would skip 2 through 9 and just go straight to 10.
Yeah.
Just give me one of those young rookie quarterbacks.
That's fair.
And I'll take the chance. Matthew Stafford's aging. Jared Goff needs so much around him. Now, if you tell me I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm taking Jared Goff 10 out of 10 times. Now, if I can get Jalen Hurts, don't get me wrong, but that's not reality. But if my situation is the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff's number 2 on that list, 100%. Jared Goff has a great situation, but he also threw for 4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah. And even
the numbers matter too.
And even this comment too, I'm salty. Good viewer. He was always on the morning show chat. He says Kyler and Prescott both better than Goff. I disagree. If you want to make the argument for Dak, I mean, coming off what he did last year, I wouldn't agree with you. And Kyler Murray, how? Like, what entails Kyler Murray to be better than Jared Goff? That's probably where I'm more lost.
I just think it's such a bad list of quarterbacks.
Even for Kyler, I mean, he's even in his best. Let's take his best season so far in the league. Like, what do you got in Kyler? Let's see.
It's not much. It's a lot of injuries. It's a lot of passing yards that are coming down in the fourth quarter when the team is losing games.
Yeah,
and he's running way more than he should.
He hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards, and his highest touchdown, the most touchdowns he's ever thrown is 26 and 12 picks, and that was 2 seasons ago. He's coming off an ACL injury. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that one. But again, Jared Goff, we both agree, he's the second best quarterback in the NFC. Now, does that mean he's one of the best in the league? No. But it speaks to how bad the NFC is. The fact that you have either rookie who gets drafted 1 at 10, it speaks volumes.
All right.
I don't hate this list. I don't.
Adam, if Goff and Hurts were in the AFC, wow, where would you have them listed? Okay, guys, this is off the top of my head, so forgive me if I get the list wrong in any order. But if I'm going top 10 in the AFC, Patrick Mahomes, 1. Joe Burrow, 2. Trevor Lawrence, 3. Josh Allen, 4. Justin Herbert, 5. I take that back. 1 Mahomes, 2 Burrow.
Yep. You don't have to do order. You just
No, I want to do order.
Okay.
2 Burrow. 3 Lawrence, 4 Hurts, 5 Allen,
You still got
6
Herbert.
Herbert.
Yep.
7. Lamar. 8 Goff. 9 Russell Wilson.
Still got Rodgers.
10 Aaron Rodgers.
There you go.
And you can swap Rodgers and Wilson. I don't care. And yes, I'm taking Jared Goff over Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I am.
Yeah, right now I would probably.
I am. The
agree
one
with
thing
you.
Russell Wilson does have going, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you can convince me about. But that would be my top 10 AFC list.
I'm glad Lamar's in there.
Of course. I mean, oh my God, I left out Deshaun actually. Wait, see, this is why off the top of my head it's hard.
You could put Deshaun over Wilson.
No. So you guys know my 6 is guaranteed. 7 was Lamar.
Deshaun's not better than Lamar.
He's more available than Lamar.
I mean,
outside of suspensions. But Lamar's 7, 8 Goff. No. Goff's got to slide to 9. Deshaun 8, Goff 9. Goff 9. I mean, as a talent, it's not even close. I mean, Deshaun Watson has so much talent. And he was considered a franchise quarterback once upon a time. I'm not saying it's going to work in Cleveland. But if I'm getting Deshaun Watson, who I watched in Houston, win multiple divisions, win playoff, yes. But if I'm not getting that, of course not. Jared Goff any day of the week. Mm-hmm. So that would be my 10.
Yeah, Watson's last year in Houston, I mean, he, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, had over 4,000 yards. He played well. So, but I'm talking about Deshaun last year. It was rough. So, a lot to prove for Deshaun. With that contract, he'll be able to boost his stock this year. But, last year was rough.
Fair enough. We'll take a break. When we get back, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll get to your fan mock drafts coming up in just a few minutes. By the way, I did see this in the chat. I don't give a fuck about 2 fake social media boxers who aren't fake. I mean, they're legit. I don't care about whatever his name is, Javonte Davis and Ryan Garcia. They spend more time on fucking social media than anything. I don't give a fuck about boxing. Boxing is a dead sport. Boxing has been dead since 2002. All right? Probably 2004 if you want to give it some shelf life. Boxing is absolute fucking garbage. It's a shit product. The fights aren't good anymore.
And we'll see
the
if
2 best boxers that you could draw me in, it's already been settled with the Gypsy Dude and Wilder, so that's done.
Fury. Yeah, well, they got Tank and Ryan Garcia.
Wow. What a fight.
If they actually fight, and if it happens, then yes, that'll be a great one.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Boxing is fucking dead.
It ain't like the UFC.
When I was growing up, oh my goodness. Lennox Lewis. Forget Mike Tyson. Lennox Lewis. You had Foreman. You had all these amazing fighters. Roy Jones Jr. You want to talk about a fucking fighter? That's a fighter. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd. There is nothing even close to it. What, Canelo Alvarez? That's not fun to watch. Boxing is not fun to watch anymore. It's just not.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Floyd Pacquiao era was shit because they never fought each other in their prime.
It was like Benavidez and Plant just fought a couple weeks ago. It was pretty much who's fighting to lose to Canelo. That's essentially what's going on. And Benavidez won. And here you go. Now he gets to go lose to Canelo.
I never understood it. You had Bernard Hopkins. You had Lennox Lewis. Evander Holyfield. Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane. Like, come on. It's not even fucking close, actually. Boxing is... Literally, how it died is similar to how baseball died, right? You had the steroid era, and then it died. Same thing. Post 1999, 2000, 2003, 2004, however far along you want to string it, be my guest. It's been dead. So yeah, no, I'm not going to talk about boxing. It's a fucking shit sport, and there's nobody compelling me. I'd rather talk about Mike Tyson fighting at 55 years old and those fake fights than a legitimate boxing match. Having said that, we'll take a break. Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites during Lent like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Get to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday nights.
I'll say this about boxing.
Oh,
the
jeez.
Creed movies are more entertaining than real-life boxing. How about that? And that's pretty shit.
Listen, the sport's fine, but the matchmaking is the problem. Like UFC.
That's not true. No, there's a different level.
It is.
No.
It is the
level of fighters is completely dropping off.
Well, a lot of it's cherry picking. Like a lot of
I understand.
A lot of
they
guys
don't want to fight
just
each other.
fight tomato cans.
But the reality is, the class weights across the board are no longer filled with what we would deem star fighters. There's good fighters. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, yeah, there's not marquee global names as much. But
it's not about the global names. It's about
it's why
respecting the sport. And there's only a handful of guys in the world today that respect the sport of boxing, fight the correct way, fight who they're supposed to fight. It's fucked. Anyways, I want to move on. By the way, somebody mentioned in the chat, did you guys see the Will Levis reports to the Colts? I have some advice for the Colts.
Oh, Will Levis to the Colts.
I have some advice for the Colts.
If
I were the Colts, and Lamar's off the table, by the way. They confirmed it. If I'm the Colts, did you guys hear what I said earlier about my 10 quarterbacks in the AFC? Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, just to name a few. Josh Allen, just to name a few. Potentially Lamar Jackson if he stays. Deshaun Watson, just to name a few. If I'm the Colts, I fucking mail it in this year. I try to build a defense. I try to rebuild my offense, get some weapons. I try to move back from 4 and draft Jackson Smith and Jimbo or Jordan Addison in the early, late 20s. And I look to draft Caleb Williams or Drake May next year. That's what I'm doing if I'm Indianapolis. You know why? Because if Will Levis turns out to be, let's say his ceiling is Phillip Rivers, you're fucked. In the state of the AFC. You have no chance.
Or you could pull a Arizona Cardinals, draft Will Levis, win 2 games, and then go draft Drake May or Caleb Williams. So, but again, I would agree with you there. If you're not, we talked about this a little bit too. Forcing your hand at the quarterback position, typically not a great idea. I mean, if the Colts really wanted their pick of the litter, they would have inquired to Chicago to trade to 1, but they'd rather stay put at 4 and take who's there. We'll see how that works out. Maybe they liked Levis this entire time, which me and JB talked about it. We tried to warn you guys. They're not going Anthony Richardson. They're going Will Levis. We'll see how that works out.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to your fan mock drafts, okay? You've submitted them. Jeff has gotten them. He's lined them up for us. So, Alex, whenever you're ready, we can start with fan mock drafts today. We've seen what's unfolded in free agency. We've seen teams trading up. We've yet to see teams trade back. So my question this morning is, what are you guys going to do? Who are you going to take? Are you going to be as bold as Jeff is and take always Bijan Robinson at 18 if he's available? Who knows? Who knows? But Alex, throw it up. Our first fan mock draft. Oh my goodness. Okay. Jalen Carter at 6. Joey Porter at 18. Deion Henley at 48. Andre Carter at 55. Jordan, while all defense in the first 3 rounds, they move up in the 4th round to acquire a receiver, Xavier Hutchinson. They draft Aiden O'Connell as a quarterback in the 6th round, and then, of course, Jonah Tavai. Do we have a name on who did this, by the way, or no?
I don't. I just pulled these. These are from my Twitter. So
okay, let's pull names moving forward so we can give them a shout out.
Okay.
A shout out. But PFF gave you an A-. I'm going to give you a B-. I'm going to give you a B-. Jeff, what do you think of the board?
I don't mind, especially the first round. To me, you nailed it. Jalen Carter, Joey Porter Jr. You know how I feel about Jalen Carter, so I'm all for it. You address 2 defensive positions. You get Dian Henley. I like him a lot. He's in a lot of our mocks at 48. I don't mind it. Andre Carter, it is what it is. I think he's got a lot of upside, but maybe I would have, I would like to see who was there instead of Andre Carter, but it is what it is. Jordan Battle, I like. And then you got Xavier Hutchinson, all these other picks I don't care about. I'd probably give this one a B-, maybe a B. The first round really saves it, though, to be honest with you. He nailed the first round.
Yeah, you think that. That's fine. We can all have different opinions, right? That's the beautiful
I just
part
like
of,
good football players.
We want to be,
You know what I
let's
mean?
all be honest here, okay? I'm just going to be very honest about this. I typically don't go this route at all. It's not my nature. I really don't like people knowing my personal business or what I think or what I feel outside of sports in general. But I love this country. I really love it. I mean it. And the fact that, we can all have different opinions, different religions, freedoms, so amazing. So Jeff loves this first-round board. That's the beautiful part about living in America. Now, if we were living in Saudi Arabia or Yemen or China, I would fucking kill you on the spot for disagreeing with me. But hey, that's not our reality, so here we are, right? Oh, man. I love this country. I love this country because I can have a shit opinion, and so can all of you. And it's all good. We move on. I'm not right all the time. I won't acknowledge or I won't say that I'm right all the time. But that should give you a hint about what's coming up in about
you're definitely wrong. But
10 minutes.
I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, that's great value.
Yeah. By the way, this is not a prerequisite. But if I see Kalijah Kancey at 6, cool. Like you're gonna score a brownie point or 2 with me. But I'm not gonna be biased here. I would love to see anybody outside of Kancey or Carter be taken at 6. I'd love to see what you guys are thinking. Let's throw up the next one. Jeff, let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. Movement. Trading back with Washington, acquiring a future 2nd and a 1st, getting the 47th pick in this draft and a 7th round. Wow, you got a haul.
He got Kancey at 16.
Okay, so we'll start with Kancey at 16. Great pick. Great pick. The value of getting him at 16, unbelievable. Nolan Smith to follow it up, unbelievable. I love the talent. I love the athleticism. I love the idea of taking a chance, quote, a first-round pick. This might be one of the best boards we've ever seen. Oh, my. I can't help but look ahead. Oh, wow. 47, Trenton Simpson, solid. We have to address the linebacker situation. Darnell, Washington, I don't mind the risk. I would have flipped it and taken Julius Brents at 48, but hey, I don't mind it at all. If you weren't going to take Darnell Washington, I wouldn't have minded seeing Jalen Hyatt here. Phenomenal start to your board, in my opinion. Jamie Robinson at 81, no risk at all. I love it. 5th round running back, you can never go wrong. Ronnie Bell, bust. Ricky Stornberg, okay, you want to go offensive line? It's a little late, to be honest, to be going offensive line. I would have imagined you would have taken one in the 3rd round, but no problem. And then Jake Moody at 234. Solid way to get off your draft board. For the mere fact that you have Washington's future 1 and 2, that is an A-plus draft for me.
And on top of that, your first 4 picks, Kancey, Nolan Smith, Trenton Simpson, and Darnell Washington. And then you get to Julius Brents, Jamie Robinson, Kenny. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, no, I like this. I like this board a lot. People are dropping A's in the chat. I'd have to agree, honestly. I mean, it's a lot of players, but they're all great value. I mean, Trenton Simpson, Nolan Smith, Kalijah Kancey at 16. You get future assets. Great mock. Nailed it.
You like it, huh?
Yeah, dude.
It's one of the better mocks I've seen. Now, how realistic is Kancey at 16? I don't know. I don't. And again, the teams between 10 and 15, 16, really 15. 10 and 15 is where I worry about Kancey getting taken. A lot of teams need interior help. We'll see. Alex, let's throw up the next one. Fan mock draft. So far today, guys, I think you've done a good job. I'm going to plead the 5th on the first one we saw today. The second one, I don't mind. I thought it's honestly one of the best submissions we've seen. Good job trading back and still getting the players you wanted. Alex, be my guest. Wow. Okay, look, if that happens, I will run down Woodward butt naked, okay? Look, I will. I won't lie.
Yeah, this one got me a little, excited.
Wow. Okay, look, let's live in the fake world that Will Anderson's available at 6. Right? You run up to the podium, you get fined by the NFL, and everybody's happy, okay? You take Will Anderson. Phenomenal. To land Kancey at 18, phenomenal. To get Emmanuel Forbes at 48, unbelievable, phenomenal. This is where you lose me. I think the player is actually pretty damn good. But I think you prioritized incorrectly. It needed to be linebacker at 55, in my opinion. I don't know who was available. I like to think Trenton Simpson would be available in that situation, even a Deion Henley. And then at 81, you can still get a Jamie Robinson, a Garrett Williams in the secondary. I don't think secondary is second-round pick worthy, especially with that board. And you already took Forbes.
I would love to see.
That's just my opinion.
I would love to see.
But then he completes the board correctly. Chandler Zavala, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Clayton Tune. I have no problem with that at all. This, to me, is an A-plus draft.
I would love to see Aaron Glenn with Antonio Johnson. I mean, he's a safety. He's 6'3", he's big. Then you got Emmanuel Forbes, Kalijah Kancey, Will Anderson. Yeah, I mean, those first three picks.
I agree.
Get me horny,
I love the player. Antonio Johnson at 55, great value. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's just you went corner and safe. It's a tough one to me. To me, that's a BPA. To me, he took Forbes at 48, not thinking Antonio Johnson would be available at 55, and somehow he was there. That's very uncommon. You don't see that often. Good on him. To me, that's a BPA board, and I think he did it excellently. I just find it tricky to take 2 defensive linemen and then 2 secondary players without addressing the offensive line or linebacker or even wide receiver.
Right.
And I would prioritize that, in different order. Right? So, hell of a draft. That's a hell of a board.
Hell of a board. Highly unlikely the fact that you get Will at 6 and Forbes at 48. That's but again, we're just grading off the players he got. Great board. I give it an A. Nailed it. Multiple starters year 1. So that's the bigger thing to take away from it. I think we got one more.
All right, let's see it. One more on the board before we go to break. I think people need to realize I'm doing a show. Oh. Who sent this? I need a name. No. I need a name.
Maybe Anthony.
You sent this, didn't you?
Anthony Richardson maybe went instead of C.J. Stroud. And now you have C.J. Stroud in your lap at 6. What do you do? What do you do, Adam? You still got Kancey at 18. I know you're over there smirking. There's no way you can't.
Okay, let's say this is a legitimate board, okay? Let's say this happens. Let's live in that world, okay? Are the Detroit Lions going to go 10-7 at worst, in your guys' opinion? I would say yes, regardless of this draft, okay? Regardless of this draft, I think this is a 10-win football team. If Jared Goff goes out and wins the division and wins you a playoff game, are you just going to boot him and then start Stroud next year? Because that's what's going to have to happen.
Right.
Because I'm not wasting 2 years of his rookie contract. Right? So you are forcing your hand here. I don't like that. I don't. I like the player. I think he's an interesting prospect. I don't think he's there at 6. But in the world that this is real, this happened, financially it makes a lot of sense for the team. They get to save $30 million a year from now. They can continue to go all in. You can pay players like Gardner Johnson. Yep. You can keep this team really going for the next 4 or 5 years. I get it. I get the value of it.
He can learn under Goff.
But
learn
when you
offense.
draft him, you're telling me, hey, Goff, we don't care what you do this year, you're gone. And I'm not getting that message from the Lions. What I'm getting is, Jared, you go win the division, we win a playoff game, you're starting next year. And then we'll look to the future. And then once we reach our ceiling with Jared Goff, we're going to find a way to move off it. That's what I'm reading. True. I could be wrong. This board is very aggressive, though.
Truth Teller, 2011, WoodwardSports.com says Alex Smith won the division and got booted the next year.
Very different situation, though, because he had been there for 4 years, that being the 4th year. They had won multiple divisions. They had won playoff games. And that year that he got booted, they lost a playoff game they had no business losing. And they reached their ceiling for 4 years under Alex Smith. Three, I believe. 3 division titles in that 4-year span. They had reached their ceiling. Big difference. You don't know what your ceiling is with Jared Goff.
Well, what if they make the playoffs, and let's say they
lose.
Let's
say they win the division and they lose.
Let's say it.
But they did this board, then it works out. But if you go out and win again and get to a divisional round, dare I say you win 2 playoff games and go to an NFC championship, which in the NFC is very realistic right now if you avoid San Francisco or Philly in the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, a lot of people are going to be questioning that move. I think that's very aggressive. That is saying, hey, under any circumstance, we're starting C.J. Stroud next year.
And it's not. It doesn't always have to do with Goff's skill set, right? Like Goff played well this year. It's more about you have to pay Goff eventually. So this is a chess move now for the future. So I don't mind it. And again, let's be real here. Although we don't know the ceiling of this team, I would like to say I kind of know what Goff is. I think he can win a playoff game.
I think Goff is a quarterback that's gone to the Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
But
not many can say that. I know Goff has been to multiple NFC championship games.
But was he the reason? The reason why? Not that matters too much. But if we're talking a guy you're going to pay 40, 45
that's to. No. That's 2 different things.
Because what are you going to do? Draft a quarterback next year?
2 different things. Don't do that to me.
When are you getting your guy?
Paying him? I agree. Absolutely not.
Who's your guy?
Wait. But when you tell me, is he the guy? Let's not forget Jared Goff in LA. Whether you want to give McVay, that offensive line, that run game credit, he threw that ball everywhere. And if I recall, on Monday night, he was part of the greatest Monday Night Football game in NFL history. And he beat Mahomes that night. I'm just saying, if we're going to be fair, Jared Goff has a nice ceiling. I like to think in this state of the NFC, he can get you to an NFC championship game. I do believe that. Can he get you back to a Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know because I don't know who the coach is. If the coach ends up being a top 7, top 8 coach, I think he can get to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. I do. Am I going to bank on it? No. Would I love to have a franchise quarterback? I do. Not many of them come out. And on average, 1 comes out every single year. And you're going to take the 3rd or 4th guy off the board. I'm not playing those odds.
It's a gamble because if you don't, and let's say Goff craps the bed this year, and you're like, well, we got to get a quarterback. Good freaking luck.
Since we have dumbasses in the chat like I'm salty, y'all want to pay for Goff $45 million a year. Let me be very, very clear with you. If you just get some of that earwax out of your ears, buddy. Nobody on this panel is saying pay Jared Goff $45 million, let alone $50. The idea of paying Goff more than what he's currently getting paid makes me want to vomit. But Goff at $30 million a year makes a lot of sense for this Detroit Lions football team.
Right now,
if he asks for 38, 42, 43 million, I'll open the door and gladly show him to the Metro Detroit airport. And I'm not interested. You can address it when the time comes. But when you, in that situation, hear me out. In that situation, Jeff, what you're telling me is we're cutting Jared Goff next offseason. That's what you're telling me.
And if you don't, you're telling me you're okay with paying him.
No, I'm not.
Then what's your plan?
But we're acting as if the only out is paying him. The out can also be moving up with all the capital you have. And then, wait, hear me out. In the next draft class. Or, hey, Jared, you can go test the market. Nobody's giving you $45 million. Derek Carr barely got $35. And you're not significantly better than he is.
Daniel Jones got $45.
That's a fake contract, by the way. You know it's a fake contract. Here's $35 million on a 2-year extension, fully guaranteed. Take it. Let's continue our run, or leave it, and we'll go address the quarterback situation.
You're basing your thought process on the assumption that a team would give you their pick to trade up with all those assets. You're like, I'll just trade up and get somebody.
I'm not. I don't think it's that cut and dry. No, I don't. If it was that cut and dry, Mahomes and Deshaun Watson would have been drafted earlier. If it was that cut and dry, Herbert, Josh Allen, Tua, all these guys would have been drafted 1, 2, or 3. All right? If it's that cut and dry, it isn't. I can't predict the future. I can't predict which NFL prospect right now that nobody knows about is going to shoot up the boards. I can't predict any of that. What I can tell you is I have a GM in place who knows what the fuck he's doing, and I don't feel pressed to draft a quarterback right now. I don't feel pressure to.
Clock's ticking.
Because if Jared Goff goes out and fumbles the bag this year and they win 6-7 games, he's getting thrown out of town. Dan Campbell's getting fired. They're drafting a quarterback and they're hiring a head coach. And I don't think that's going to happen.
We're not talking
They're too good.
But we're not talking about a situation where they win 4 or 5 games. What if they win 10, 11, 12 games and he craps the bed in the playoffs and you think to yourself, well, yeah, this is the guy we want to move forward with. My question to you is, what do you do? Like that, you have no leverage over Goff. You have nobody behind him, and you're going to just assume I could go out and get somebody.
Again,
that is a very naive mindset.
It's naive
because you're not understanding.
It's naive to say you're preparing to throw out a quarterback who costs you nothing, who I believe you don't have to pay that market value for. I think you can get him around 34, 35, 36 million. I do, on an extension, who hasn't given you a reason to throw him out of town yet. I agree. I want the quarterback. One comes out, if you're lucky, every year.
Right. I'm not saying force your hand, take anybody, but CJ Stroud.
But you're saying the third or fourth quarterback taken off the board is going to be there. And let's be honest, he's probably going 1 or 2 anyways.
Right. So it'd be Will Levis or
But I'm
Anthony
operating
Richardson.
under the mindset that it's really Richardson or Levis.
Then I'm good.
Then how is it any different? That's my point.
Yeah, I'm not
because to draft one of them signifies that they start in 2024 under any condition. Goff could get you to an NFC Championship game, let's say this year, because teams underperform. Philly gets upset in the first or second round. San Francisco, their quarterback situation fucks them again. Well, anything could happen. Let's say you get there. You're going to throw that out of the door. I find that hard to believe. I just find it very hard to believe. That's all.
Yeah, if you got...
I'm not saying the plan is ideal. If there's a draft to take a quarterback, you would think it's when you have the 6th overall pick. Too bad. The guys that are really at the top are going 1 and 2. Oh, and there's 2 other teams that pick before you that'll probably take a quarterback, and they'll all be gone. So, yeah, it's a bit unlucky. And that's where trading back with a New England, trading back with a Washington, trading back with one of these mid-tier teams that you think are going to really suck this year. And hopefully next year you have the draft picks. That's where trading back really makes sense to me. But that's all unknown. It's all an unknown. And you can sit here and say, draft a quarterback this, draft a quarterback that. That's also an unknown. So your arguments, and not you specifically, but your arguments don't get to work both ways. The reality is the Lions have a comfortable situation. They're not paying Goff a ton of money compared to the market. And I like to believe if Goff performs this year, wins the division, wins a playoff game, that the Detroit Lions are going to wrap their heads around how do we win a Super Bowl right now. Not, oh, we're going to move off of Jared Goff. It's easy to go from Jared Goff to Desmond Ridder. It's easy to go from Jared Goff to Zach Wilson. It's easy to go from Jared Goff to Trey Lance. It's easy to go from Jared Goff to any of these guys. Very rarely in the last decade have you seen a team go from an average quarterback to a franchise quarterback. To name a few. Mahomes took over for Alex Smith. Anything else? Because Josh Allen took over Tyrod Taylor, I believe?
Yeah, you could do Lamar.
Lamar took over for who?
Flacco. But still, average, they went to Lamar Jackson.
I will give
Chargers
you Lamar.
went from Rivers to Justin Herbert.
Rivers was retired, and it was 1 year without it. It was actually Tyrod Taylor.
From franchise quarterback to franchise quarterback.
But I'm saying they are actually there, and then you moved on from them,
true,
right?
Yes. If you're talking about sitting, yes.
You have maybe 2. I'll give you 3 examples in the last 2 decades. Really? That's what you're banking on?
Yeah. By the way, if the only quarterback available at 6 is Anthony Richardson, which I would be shocked because I think he'll go top 5. I think a team will trade up. Then we're talking about Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round or the 2nd round. So, again, I'm not forcing my hand, but you got to get somebody behind Goff. I think that's the more of this conversation. And what we're talking about is CJ at 6, which I think is unlikely, but yes, I would be all for that.
Again, you guys aren't understanding the point. Favre to Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was selected 24th overall. Aaron Rodgers sat 3 full seasons before he took over for Brett Favre.
And then Jordan Love, we'll see what he is.
That is not how it works. That is not how it works. The Cincinnati Bengals went from who to Joe Burrow? Nobody.
Yeah,
they had the
that was
worst
rough.
record in the NFL. They took him number 1 overall. The Jags, they went from nobody to Trevor Lawrence.
But they went through a lot of down years. I mean, the Lions are in a...
You are in an upward trend. I think you have a 5, 6, 7-year window, depending on how this quarterback situation does play out. But if I told you Dan Campbell ends up being a top 7 coach in the NFL, you can win with Jared Goff. No excuses. If you fail,
actually, Jalen Hurts is a good example, even though he was a second-round pick. But still, Carson Wentz, they moved on. They went to Jalen Hurts.
Carson Wentz is not anywhere remotely close to being a good quarterback.
He was. Let's not act. Come on, dude. He was an MVP candidate before he was hurt.
The year they made the Super Bowl. He got hurt, and then he forced his way out of town. And Jalen Hurts was a second-round pick.
Yeah,
not a first-round pick.
Could be
not a 6th overall pick. There's a big difference.
Yeah, you can still find your guy. That's why I said
Lamar 32.
Get somebody
Aaron Rodgers 24. There is a big difference between that and drafting 6th overall. So yes, under the Mahomes, Watson, Lamar, all that shit, under that umbrella, be my guest. I would love for you to find a quarterback between 12 and 24. Would be phenomenal.
Well...
The odds of that happening,
very
low.
You could still get your guy, though. If it's Hendon Hooker, Clayton Tune, whoever it is. Not saying they're franchise guys. Hendon could be. But just get somebody behind Goff, please.
What does that mean? Again.
Get somebody behind Goff. That's what it means.
I want a franchise quarterback in Detroit. I do. I want them to draft a quarterback. I don't think they're in a situation this year to be doing so. I don't. And if there's a way for them to trade back 4 or 5 spots and get a future one out of it, I'm all for it.
Right.
That is the ideal scenario for me. And then next year, you have the capital to do whatever the hell you want. But Jared Goff is a starting quarterback this year, and I believe in 2024. I don't see them moving off unless they are forced to, which means he either gets hurt and it's a season-ending injury, Dan Campbell fumbles 4th quarter leads. I don't know. If they win 5 games, they're going to get rid of Goff, they're going to fire Campbell, and they're going to start over with a young, up-and-coming roster and a new quarterback and a new head coach. That's what happens if they win 5 games. I don't think that's going to happen. They're winning 10, 11 games this year.
So what you're saying is it'll be harder to find a franchise quarterback.
It's harder both ways.
Harder if you're picking in the 20s, is my point.
In theory, yes.
Okay.
In theory, yes. Absolutely.
All right. That's what we're
I've seen Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston go 1 and 2. Baker Mayfield go 1. Let's not kid ourselves here.
But for every one of those guys, you see Herbert,
of course,
Allen,
later on,
and Mahomes,
and let's not forget
Watson.
the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round quarterbacks: Dak, Jalen Hurts,
Russell Wilson.
Right, it happens. It does happen.
Drew Brees.
I'm not opposed to the idea of taking a Hendon Hooker in the later rounds. I'm not. But the idea of spending that 6th overall pick on a quarterback means you put a gun to my head, and you're saying 2024. X quarterback is the starting quarterback, not Jared Goff. And that's pretty fucking bold of you to do when you don't even know if you have the right quarterback or head coach right now. And what I mean by that is they haven't won anything. If they win, now we look to identify the ceiling. Once they hit the ceiling, you act. Or you continue along until you can. It's very easy to go from Jared Goff to one of the shittier quarterbacks in the NFL. We all know this. You guys remember the John Kitna days? Drew Stanton? Huh? You guys remember Dan Orlovsky?
No,
God bless him?
No, don't do that.
I love Dan. You guys remember Jeff Garcia?
Don't go there.
So do me a favor and shut the fuck up.
But you can't use those examples and say...
No. They're not
point
examples.
Is discredited.
They happened.
Yeah.
I want you to remember what it's like to have a fucking shit quarterback.
But
before
Adam,
you come after me and talk to me about drafting a quarterback.
You're only using...
overall.
You're only using these quarterbacks to make your point.
I'm using them because they happen more often than the ones that hit. That's the point. The data suggests you are more likely to fail.
Yes.
Drafting the 3rd or 4th quarterback off the board in the 1st round than taking the 1st or 2nd one. That's a fact. That's my point. That's why I'm not screaming for one. Because I know 3 or 4 are likely going to be taken, and I'm not in the market of reaching. I'm not in a rush.
I'm not saying reach, but
I'm not
again,
in a rush.
This
formula,
formula,
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud are at 6. Boy, Jeff, let's all be real. That's a compelling argument. That's not reality, though. Let's take a break. Top of the hour. Coming up next.
Get a quarterback.
I got a draft confession to make, and then we'll get the show back on track. We just spent a half hour on that, by the way. Oh, well.
Man's blood pressure's through the roof.
Oh, well. Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. I don't give a fuck. Moving on. Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Let me tell you about them, because we need insurance for golf. Because, listen, I'm not paying golf, so you get Swiss Insurance to help you out with it. Many businesses do choose an effective date, but they can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give them a shot. You will not be disappointed. Mark at SwissINS.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right, you lazy asses, let me tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today, $10 a month. Get your asses to the gym. Get in shape. What are you waiting for? Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time at your laptop, your computer, drinking your stupid mochas, drinking your stupid lattes. Get to the gym. Be the best you can be. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. If you missed the show live, you can always go back after the fact. Download the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can always download the morning show. Jeff?
Talk to me.
I got a confession to make. And it's probably not the best time to do it, considering my blood is absolutely boiling.
You've been doing a lot of confessions this month. It's like
Yeah.
it's religious for you. I'm here to talk to you.
Nah,
get it off your chest. What's up?
This time of month is very important for me because I really get my inner balance, figured out, right? This is really
the cleanse.
This is a cleanse for me.
Yeah.
And part of it is confessing to where I may be very wrong, and I also accept that.
Wow.
I don't mind being right. I don't mind being wrong. That's not the business I'm in. I'm not in the business of being right or wrong. That's the business of being a GM, a head coach, making decisions, right? I'm in the business of talking about sports. And I like to have philosophies, theories that I think work. Some have really, really worked out for me. I would say 65, 70% of the time.
Right.
There are also times where it's completely failed me. But I have a confession this morning. I've really taken a look at Jalen Carter. Okay? And I've really thought
I hope
it
you
through.
did. I hope you took
took a long look at him.
Admire.
Agent comes out, says he's only talking to 10 teams. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to ignore that for now. He is a phenomenal talent. The most disruptive interior lineman coming out in the last, 5-10 years? Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I will not discredit anything he's done on the field. But this morning, and I'm going to make it official because I'm never going to talk about this again. For the 2023 NFL Draft,
don't you say
I'm out on Jalen Carter. And I don't care if I'm wrong. And I don't care if he goes all pro. I don't.
What?
Wait, hear me out. Let me finish before you freak out.
Go.
That's me accepting if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you guys can come give me shit later. That's fine. But when I'm drafting somebody, you got to check off certain boxes. And when you make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake leading up to the NFL Draft, I am not inclined to take you 6th overall. I have a potential Super Bowl contender waiting for one player to hit on that defensive line, and it changes everything. Now at 18, okay, you can talk to me him at 18. I refuse to draft Jalen Carter. I refuse it. I'm absolutely, completely out on him. I'm not sold. I have way too many questions, way too many concerns. And what the hell are you grinning for?
What did you just say?
Go for it.
Did you just say you're out on Jalen Carter, but you take him at 18?
6th overall, I'm completely out. It matters, Jeff.
Aren't you the one?
If he's going to fall.
Didn't you just say, and we've been preaching, because we do this with Cansey, it's not about where the value is, right? If he's for Cansey, he's rated a top 20 pick, but you take him at 6 because he's your guy. So why would you take him at 18 but not at 6?
Because at 6, I am making him the face of my franchise. And at 6, you need to check off certain boxes for me. When we get to the middle of the first round, if he's still there at 18, I'm already vindicated at that point. That is a throwaway pick. I could give a shit. At 18, if he's on the board, be my guest and take him. I don't care. That to me is a nothing pick. I've already won. But the idea of spending the 6th overall pick on Jalen Carter, to me, is off the table.
Would you say Jameson Williams is one of the faces of the franchise? You think he's up there?
No, I don't. How can he be?
You don't think Jameson is one of the foundational players? So
well, he hasn't proven it yet.
Okay, my point being,
what's your point?
He was
so
the
I can
second
answer correctly.
So Jameson was taken second in the first round.
12th overall,
I
yes.
still think he's one of the faces, the young players that you look for in the future.
And why did he fall?
Well, he was injured,
okay.
of course. But I'm saying,
if Jalen Carter falls,
you're talking about
you think I wouldn't be happy
6
at 18
versus 18.
him?
If you take Jalen Carter at 18, he's still one of your...
I'm not saying he isn't.
Right.
But I'm getting him at 18. I'm not spending the 6th overall pick, all the leverage I have in this upcoming draft, on a guy who can't show up to his job interview in fucking shape, can't complete his drills, gassed for air, lies to the police, denies his story, can't even get his fucking story straight. Yeah, I have questions, and I'm not taking him 6th overall. I'm not. Just like I won't take Will Levis if he's there. Just like I wouldn't take Levis if I'm the Colts. I have questions. I have concerns. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Great. Not always going to be right. I don't like Jalen Carter. Not a fan. Way too many question marks. Work ethic is one of the most important things when it comes to the defensive tackle position. You need to enjoy the suck, the hurt, the pain, being in the trenches for 60 minutes against grown-ass fucking men who just want to punish you. You can't keep 9 pounds off for your NFL Pro Day? You can't finish your drills? How the hell are you supposed to finish the 4th quarter? How am I supposed to rely on you being in the game in the 4th quarter with a minute left, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and inches? I need you to make a play. How am I supposed to rely on you? I mean, I have questions.
Listen.
I'm not touching him. And don't even get caught up in the 18 thing. That's just hyperbolic. That's just me being toxic. Fuck him at 18. That's not the point. The point is I am not touching Jalen Carter at 6 overall.
Okay, well, I disagree with you vehemently. Listen, I get if you're out on Jalen personally, you don't like his character. That's fine. But what are we doing here? The highest rated player for a long period of time before this draft, even higher than Will Anderson. And if you go back, if you talk about you want him to be, embrace being in the trenches for 60 minutes, be physical, be nasty. Well, let's just go back to the tape. Go back and watch Jalen Carter against Tennessee. Right, because that left tackle for Tennessee, he'll be going in the first round.
Can I interrupt you?
Go watch him at LSU.
Can I interrupt you? Because it's not fair.
Because you're going off character,
you're having a different conversation with me. Because if you're going to ask me what he did against Tennessee, LSU, any of these teams, I'm going to tell you, Jeff, I'm watching a phenomenal, imposing prospect right now. That's not the point. There's a reason he's falling. He should be a top 5 pick. He shouldn't even be a consideration for the Detroit Lions. Why is he in the conversation now? Because he has multiple speeding tickets. He was involved in a tragic incident. He's a liar. He showed up to his pro day out of shape. He couldn't finish his fucking drills. Yes, that matters to me. You can say it's not fair, but last I checked, your job interviews matter. And that's to me. And if you want to take him, be my guest. And if Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell want to take him, be my guest. That's no problem. And if he works out, no problem. I was wrong. No problem. But I am not going to break my rules for Jalen Carter, who has shown me nothing but negative since January 1st. Not a fan.
Hey, that's your opinion. That's fair. I'm going off tape. And if you go off tape and you watch Jalen Carter at Georgia, the 2 national champions he won while he was at Georgia, he was one of the, if not the best player on one of the most stacked defense in college football. So I look at that. I look at what he would do for Aiden and the rest of these guys in this defensive line. There is no value It's hard to measure value for somebody like Jalen Carter to come in. You don't need Jalen Carter to come in right away and give you 9-10 sacks. His value will strictly be just being on the field and what he would do for guys like James Houston, for guys like Aiden Hutchinson. Like that's what I look at. His value, and I think if he was on the Lions right now,
why did the Lions draft Aiden Hutchinson last year?
Because he was the great point.
You had
the widely regarded best prospect fall to you at 2.
Is he though? Because the
best player, maybe not prospect.
Excuse
but player.
me. Last I checked, Kayvon Thibodeau was a much more talented prospect than Aiden Hutchinson.
Is fine. Player, let's be honest.
We're talking about prospects here.
We're talking about players important as well.
Why did you fall in love along with me with Aiden Hutchinson? You fucking two-faced bitches. Why? Because he had high work ethic. You didn't question what he was off the field. He could be a leader day one. Oh, and you're not worried about him being unathletic because he handled that at his pro day in the combine. He did just fine. That's why. Because Aiden Hutchinson didn't give you any reasons to pass on him. Jalen Carter, on the other hand, is giving me all the reasons to pass on him.
Well, it's all character.
That's the point.
It's all character
That's
based.
the point.
Yeah, it's nothing to.
It does translate to the field, though. How many people struggle off the field and end up reaching their ceiling on the field? You know how hard it is to be the 1% of the 1%?
I mean,
do you know how fucking hard it is?
Let's be real here.
You think everybody's Kobe Bryant, for example, that works out 4, 5, 6 times a day? No, it is hard to be the 1% of the 1%, and you don't get to do that by resting on your talent. It takes hard work, it takes commitment, it takes stability on and off the field, and Jalen Carter is making me question everything.
So because of the situation that he was involved in, the driving, the speeding, the racing, and his pro day, you're out. Those two. It's only those two situations, right? It's the legal trouble and then the pro day.
Yes,
because
it's a bad...
Yes, okay.
It's a
then
bad
character
look.
issues, you're out. That's fine.
And again, I'm not in the room, right? If I was a general manager, one, I wouldn't be public with any of it. Two, I'd sit him down and I'd try to figure out what the fuck is going on. Because I need to figure out, one, do you love football? Two, do you understand what you're doing to the future of your family? You're losing millions of dollars as we speak right now. Because if you don't land this interview with me, you're fucked and you're going to fall. And I'm going to tell every GM after you that, hey, this guy's not serious about football. I'd stay away from him. Because that's how the NFL works. So yeah, I'm not in the room when they're going to interview him, or they have, or they will, or any of these teams. But from the outside looking in, from what I'm seeing, absolutely not.
Well, this is the problem I have too, is with the pro day, and I get it's a bad look, or the legal trouble. People just assume he doesn't love football. Like that's something that Brad and Dan are only going to know by interviewing him. So I can't sit up here and say the guy doesn't love football. I think that's an ignorant statement to make. I really do. Now his actions might show you that, but to say he doesn't love football,
I have some statistical evidence.
That doesn't make any sense.
Was he not a 5-star prospect coming out?
Yeah, he was elite.
Was he not an imposing defensive tackle?
Yeah, at Georgia.
Has he ever produced at the level that you would consider a 5-star prospect to produce at?
His impact, yes.
Impact, very different.
Yeah, because that's his position. It's defensive tackle. He's not going to...
Did he produce like you would expect one of the greatest generational defensive tackles to come out and produce? Because last I checked, statistically, no.
Yeah, he's not Sue.
Right?
But
in terms
you
can
of
even
impact,
look at some of the more recent guys. It's not even just Sue was an anomaly. He was a Heisman candidate. That's different.
So let me ask you this. Georgia, they won 2 natties.
Yes.
Was he not the best player?
No, he was not the best player.
Or second best player?
He was one of the best players on defense for 2 years.
No,
yes.
if you talk about the impact and what Jalen Carter did for the rest of that defensive line, you could probably make an argument.
He was one of the best players, absolutely.
No, you could probably make an argument he was with his impact. With his impact. What he was doing in the middle for Georgia, you can't look at me and say he didn't have the biggest impact.
We're going to
for the rest
not
for
talk
Nolan
about
Smiths
Jordan
of the
Davis
world.
last year and how impactful he was.
Well, Jordan Davis, of course, but he had Jalen Carter beside him. So, just eliminate Jalen Carter? That's the point. If Trayvon Walker was good, but guess what?
Nolan Smith now.
Guess what? All these guys,
all the corners.
Yeah, keep going.
And the secondary players.
Keep going. It all goes back to Jalen Carter, baby.
How does he get all the credit for all the stuff?
Because he takes up 2 blockers a play. It's Jalen Carter. What are you talking about? What do you we assume what Jalen Carter to underestimate his impact on Georgia is ignorant.
I'm not. I literally told you he's one of the best players over the last 2 years for them. Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing. I don't know where you're losing me here.
I'm lost because we're getting beside. If you're talking about character, that's fine, but don't you dare bring up football.
Though. That's not
You'll
my
lose
argument.
that argument. Okay,
but that's
just
not my
sure.
argument.
If it's character, that's fine, but you're kind of You're kind of dipping into football a little bit. There's nothing football related.
I asked you questions. I didn't say anything.
That's fine. Okay.
I was asking you.
Okay.
A 5-star prospect. Did he produce like you would expect him?
Okay.
I'm not saying he wasn't impactful. Again, he was one of the most impactful defensive players in the last year and a half, 2 years in college football.
Then we're good.
Nobody can deny that.
You were creeping into that argument.
No, I wasn't.
Don't do that.
Point.
Okay.
That's not the point. Don't look at the chat.
Sure.
The chat has no idea what the fuck's going on
Who's
here.
looking at the chat? I'm looking at stats.
Focus with me.
I got
Focus
stats
with
in
me.
front of me, baby. Making sure I can correct your dumb ass if you say something.
Damn it.
So, listen, Jalen Carter, that's fine. It's your opinion. And a lot of GMs are going to feel the same way as you. I'm just basing it off the film. If he's there at 6, you would have never had a chance to even take him if these things didn't come out. So you at least have to consider it. I think that's something you're going to have to look at.
And if I looked at the film, there's dozens of players that should have been absolute hits in the NFL, but they missed for obvious reasons. Why? They missed because of off-the-field issues. They didn't take football seriously in the summer. They showed up to camp out of shape.
Which is true. Football character, Brad Holmes says.
Like, this
that's
matters,
important.
man. Like, we act like it doesn't matter. If it was about who's the most talented, everybody wouldn't miss on their first-round picks every year.
But can we agree, this is why I have a hard time with this, because position of need, defensive tackle.
Yes.
Jalen Carter's by far the best defensive tackle in this draft.
Yes.
I can't see, but come on. It's Jalen Carter.
There is no debate here.
So that's why it's so hard for you to say, okay, well, I'm out on him completely. That takes balls. So I give you credit, because to deny the best defensive tackle in the draft, who would have went 1 or 2 before obviously teams traded up to get a quarterback, like that's ballsy. The Lions need somebody like Jalen Carter. Now, if he doesn't love football, he's a bad character, he's bad for the culture, then stay away from him. But Brad and Dan even mentioned it, and Dan mentioned it specifically. When you have a good locker room, you can bring in a guy like the...
I'll tell you why that's a lie.
Okay, tell me why it's a lie. Why Dan
I'll
Campbell
tell you why
lied.
that's a lie to an extent. Part of it's true. Okay? One, you need a successful culture, number one.
Yes.
A successful team. Number two, more importantly, in my opinion, there's a big difference between Kirby Smart handling a $1 million NIL player who's a 5-star recruit and Jalen Carter, and a professional head coach handling a $30 million defensive tackle with those very same issues. That's the difference. You are a millionaire overnight.
True.
You have responsibilities nobody can ever prepare you for in life. This is what you're showing me leading up to it? I have my doubts. Not on the field. But those very same doubts will creep onto the field eventually, and we've seen it way too many times in this league. That's why I'm out.
But again, kind of like this quarterback argument, because you made the case, well, for quarterbacks, a lot of the time these guys don't hit. What about the guys that do have pass but end up being okay in the league?
Well, again, you want to use a recent one? Everybody loves to bring up Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons showed up to his pro day in the combine and absolutely demolished it. He was phenomenal. He had hazing questions. It wasn't character. It was about a hazing issue at Penn State. Very different to Jalen Carter. You go find me, do the research, go find me the Jalen Carter examples. Speeding, driving issues, showing up to your pro day out of shape. Go find me those players that were rated and tell me how their careers went. I'll do you a favor. I'll do you one better. I'll do the fucking research and I'll bring it to the show tomorrow. And then we'll go through that data. Let's take a break. When we get back, Brad Holmes, we talk a lot about prospects, confidence in Brad Holmes. What is it going to take at number 6 to change the trajectory of this team? I don't think they can make any pick at 6 that sends them into the tank. Is that fair to say?
Fair.
I don't think there's a player they could draft where it completely pulls apart this team. I don't see that happening. But we'll get to that next. Before we go, I got to tell you about my friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster, excuse me. Scan the QR code, go to cousinsmainelobster.com, find out where their food trucks are, give them a try. Lobster tacos, clam chowder soup, my absolute go-to favorite. Give them a try, let them know I sent you. And if you're feeling a little heavy on the day, you can order a side of tots. You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you guys what we're going to do right now, okay? We got about 9 minutes. I want to focus on Brad Holmes, and I want to get to the callers. The phone line's 313-552-6322. Thank you to everybody being patient. We all, I would say, if I were, I don't want to do this right now, but if I were to throw up a poll and say, do you trust in Brad Holmes? I think 99% would say yes.
Oh, yeah.
There would be that 1% that accidentally hit no, right? So you have to take that into consideration, right? There is an error margin here, marginal error somewhere, but is there a move? And look, we got heated about the quarterback, we got heated about Carter, but is there a move that sets this franchise back? I don't think there is at 6. I think regardless, Brad's going to surprise everybody. I'm not going to sit up here and say for a fact I know what he's going to do. I don't, and I actually love that. I prefer my GMs to be unpredictable. Having said that, can we all agree if the Lions were to move back to 11 or 12, I think everybody would be pretty happy?
Oh, yeah.
Like 6 is a tricky spot because you don't really want to draft Tyree Wilson. Obviously, there's a Jalen Carter fanboy, so you would have a different opinion on that. But for the people that aren't sold on him, you're not sold there. Kalijah Cansey, I love the kid at 6. I get it. It's a tough sell. It's tough for me to sell it to all of you. I'm not going to sit here and act like it is. I get it. If you could get him at 8, 9, or 10, I would be very happy. I would. I'd love the idea of trading back. I just think it takes 2 to tango, and trading back right now doesn't seem like a reality.
The only way it happens if a quarterback's there at 6, I think. I mean, if they go, let's say a team trades up to Arizona and 4 go in the top 5, you're not, I mean, no one's going to want to trade up. I don't think anybody cares. But if Will Levis is there, Anthony Richardson's there, you might have a team that's interested, especially if they think the Lions might take him. So I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay. Well, how do I say this, Jeff? If you have confidence, right, in this general manager, and we talk a lot about who it should be, forget who it should be right now. What does this team absolutely need? Interior help on the defensive line, right?
Absolutely.
But is there a reality where an offensive lineman like a Peter Skronsky is a real thing at 6? Is that really a thing? Anybody have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I think I've seen a couple mocks. I don't hate it. It just depends on who you get at 18. Because let's say you get Peter Skronsky, you trade back to 11, get Peter Skronsky, and maybe at 18 you get Cansey. I'd be okay with that. But it depends, because if you pass on Cansey or Carter and you go Peter Skronsky and maybe a corner at 18, I don't like it. And then you're going to force a defensive tackle in the 2nd, 3rd round. I mean, I want one of those 2 defensive tackles. So it just depends on who you get at 18 for me. But I'm not going to say Peter Skronsky would be a terrible pick. Especially you're thinking of the future with Taylor Decker. I think you'd be planning for the future. So I don't hate it.
Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. I am pretty comfortable with the Lions' current situation. I think the biggest problem I have with 6 is there's a consensus among everybody that everybody disagrees. I think that's the consensus. Everybody has a different opinion on what 6 could or should be. I'm out on the quarterback. I'm out on Carter. I'm out on Tyree Wilson. If you put a gun in my head and I had to pick at 6, you guys know who I'm going to go for. But we're all kind of indifferent some way or another. So let's move on from 6. Let's move on from 6. You have 18. You can move up. You can move back. I don't care. You've selected in recent weeks Beydoun Robinson. What's the best player, dream scenario, at 18? Don't worry about what happens at 6.
one of the corners, to be honest with you. If I'm saying dream scenario.
If you get one of the 4?
Yeah. I think if you could
Deontay
take
Banks, Porter, Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon.
Probably on the back end of that. I would say Witherspoon, Gonzalez, or Jory Porter. That would be my dream scenario. But again, for me with Beydoun, those guys were gone. Maybe Brian Branch you consider because you have some guys on 1-year deals. But yeah, I would say one of the corners. If you go defensive line and corner in the first round, we've seen a couple of those mocks. To me, that's an A. I love it. But I don't think those guys will be there.
All right, well, I don't think people know that I'm doing a show right now. It's like I haven't been working for two years here. Anyways, here's what we're going to do. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll take callers. Thank you to everybody on the phone lines waiting patiently. 313-552-6322 is the number. We'll get to your thoughts on this entire conversation that we've had today. At 9:40, I want to do the Jalen Carter agent situation, and I want to do tiers in the NFC, which teams are actual contenders, which ones aren't. We'll do all that and more next. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling to really understand the fact that Jalen Carter's worth it at 6, then head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120, get a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 Mr. Beer Machine, full bar. Check it all out, bowlingwarehouse.com.
Ooh, soothing music.
Yeah, JB's crushing it on the 1s and 2s.
Tuesday morning. Tuesday is one of my favorite days of the week, by the way.
Why?
Not going to share that information with you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Mind your damn business. Oh, God.
JB, before we get to these callers, I didn't really get to talk to you about Jalen Carter. Where are you at? Are you out on Jalen Carter?
I'm not out on Jalen Carter, but like I said, it has to be the right circumstance. I have to see what's there at pick 6 if we're not going to try and move up or if we're not trying to move back a little bit more. But I still think you don't want to pass on a talent like Jalen Carter. So I think I'm still taking him.
That's fair enough. Well, at least you're not racist, JB. Must be nice.
Smart man, JB. Very smart man.
Okay, look, before we get to the caller, I did see a comment during the break. Adam, would you draft Jalen Carter at 6 or re-sign Dwayne Casey to a 5-year extension? And look, this takes a lot out of me, right?
Oh, I know it does.
But for the sake of this city, and for the sake of me not having to watch over 300 more games of fucking shit basketball,
Jesus,
I'll draft Jalen Carter at 6 so the Pistons don't have to re-sign Dwayne Casey. You're welcome, Detroit. I'll bite that bullet for you guys.
I'll bite that bullet for you.
I'll bite that bullet.
You can have Jalen Carter, you poor football team. Poor Lions.
I'm just saving the basketball team here.
You're ridiculous.
All right. Let's start. JB, who do we got on the line?
All right, I'll send you guys Mike. He's been on hold waiting patiently.
Mike, appreciate you waiting on the line. What do you got for us this morning, buddy?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, not a lot. Thanks for taking my call, guys. Making me work for it this morning, though.
Yeah, thanks for being patient.
Yeah, Jeff was stalling us. Sorry.
What?
No, you're good. You're good. I ended up with a couple more notes, though. That's for sure. Normally I'm on your side, Jeff, but I had this whole list of notes. I woke up this morning with the same epiphany Adam had. I wrote it down, so I definitely am not just taking your side, Adam. I don't want you to get too carried away. But no Carter, man. I'm out as well. You got the the whole car accident ordeal. Then he gets caught driving 80 in a 45 before the fact, but it comes out. Then he has the poor pro day. Then the video surfaces that he's lying. And then the cherry on top, and I know this is more the agent probably than him himself, obviously, but, you won't visit teams outside the top 10. No offense, but who do you think you are?
Thank you.
You're not in the league yet, man. Get out of here. And it just feels very I haven't heard a good headline about this guy in a long, long time, So with that being said, I think ideally with 6 or with 18, sliding back maybe 4 or 5 spots, and you could probably get Cansey still. And this may be a little bit of an overdraft, but when it comes to just picking your guy, and I think it would be a huge impact on our defense, I'm going Jack Campbell pretty early because I'm seeing him sneak up, and I don't want to miss out on Jack Campbell. I think he could be a difference maker. And I'm picturing Cansey up the middle of our interior rush, Hutch on the outside, and then 6'4" with vertical, just lurking in the middle of our zone, intercepting passes and the crossing routes. I don't know, man. Just your thoughts?
First of all, I appreciate the comments on Jalen Carter. Well said, well done.
Of course you
regarding do. Regarding Jack Campbell, man, I'm not opposed to that. You have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. You've got 2 threes next year. If you can move up 6, 7, 8, 10 slots for a future 3 and swapping second-round picks, I'd be down for if you can get him at the tail end of the the tail end of the first. Technically not the first because 32 is now voided, so 31 picks only. So if you can get him at 33, 34, 35, 36, I'd be very much open to that. I would agree with that. Jeff, what do you think?
No, I love it. And by the way, I respect your comments, Mike, about Jalen Carter. I think it's all opinionated. I might disagree with you, but still, the fact that you're trust your values, I respect that. I think the whole idea, we'll talk about that later too. Drew Rosenhaus coming out and he's not meeting with teams past the top 10. I mean, let's be real here, Mike. If he falls past 10, I get what you're saying. Who does he think he is? A team's going to take him. Let's be real.
That's fine, and he knows cost himself talent. Millions of dollars.
Okay, well, that's a fact. Yes, we understand because he should be a top 3 pick, but he's not. So that already happened. But I get you, Mike. Cansey, I can't hate, and Jack Campbell, man, he's a hell of a player. So I'm all for it. Even though I'd prefer Manuel Forbes early in the second, I think Jack Campbell would be a splash.
Well done, Mike.
Big one.
Well done. Appreciate the call, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
You too, brother.
All right, let's go to the next caller. JB, who do we got?
I will send you guys Tom. He's been waiting on hold patiently as well, too.
Tom.
Hopefully not Tom Mazaway. It's bad enough I work with him. Tom, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
No, this is Tom, your worst nightmare. Number one, I just want to say I think you guys have fallen down a rabbit hole here when you talk about the defensive line and the quarterback situation at number 6. I think you have to stop and think that when Holmes and Campbell were both hired, they had a plan and probably told Shiva that we can be a Super Bowl contender in 3 years, 2024. Okay? And I think that they have a plan, and their mantra, they got 2 mantras. Stick to the plan, and don't draft the next shiny toy that comes along. So, I personally think, my opinion, that what is the one position group that the Lions have where they have consistently hit home runs? The offensive line. Because of that, I see. I think Peter Skoronsky makes a lot of sense. The Lions have a hole at guard, and he is a rotational kind of player that can probably start him out at guard, maybe, and then move him to the outside when all these contracts come due. They have to. I think that they know that they can probably make the playoffs this year, but they don't consider themselves necessarily a Super Bowl contender, and I think there's a big difference.
I would agree
and
with that.
If you when you said it yesterday, Adam, that a couple of days ago, that they have to think that the GM has to think about the present, but he also has to think about the future.
Right.
And I think this sets them up for getting a player who is going to be with the team for 10 years, probably. He is going to be an anchor, and it's going to help Jared Goff, it's going to help their running game, and it's going to help their wide receivers. Okay, so I can see if the Lions want to stick with pick 6, go with the sure thing. Go with the one thing that, because the Lions are, when you get to pick 6 in the draft, regardless of who's picked before them, you're entering a period of maybe 15 picks where they're all kind of like about the same.
Well, Tom,
okay,
go ahead.
Yes. No. So listen, Philadelphia, I know at number 11 is I think is interested in Jalen Carter. So there's possibly a place where you can trade with them.
I think what's going to end up happening, Tom, if I'm honest, one, I don't mind the Peter Skoronsky consideration. I agree. You always have to be looking to the future. Are they Super Bowl contenders this year? No, but what are they missing? That's my question. That's my general rule of thumb. Well, okay, they're not. Why? Well, they don't have a top 10 coach in the NFL. That's why. That's one. We don't know him, right? We don't know that yet. That could be true. It could be not true. They don't have a legitimate top 5, top 6, top 7 quarterback in the NFL. That's a fact. Okay, so what else are they missing? Well, they could really use some interior help. And starting to identify problems and solving them, to me, is how you get there. At the end of the day, I think if Campbell is, let's say, the Mike Vrabel of offense, I think this team can get to NFC Championship games with their eyes closed, with the roster Brad Holmes is assembling. Am I going to get caught up on the Taylor Decker contract where I'm going to go for Peter Skoronsky? That's not my ideal scenario. I would love to trade back. I don't know how real that is. Really can't say until the NFL draft does come along or they break the news that they've made a move before. But at the end of the day, I don't got much to say on the Jalen Carter, the Peter Skoronsky move. But I think you're right when you said there was a plan. They should stick to the plan. I'm not a fan of sticking to the plan. It's my life experience tells me that you should never stick to the plan if it's not working, right? So right now it's working, and like you said, they've drafted well on the offensive line. They've done well at the defensive line-ish. Aiden Hutchinson really only their standout draft pick. They found a receiver in the later rounds. There's still some holes on this team. So let's go into the draft with an open mind. I'm willing to see what Brad Holmes does, what he believes is the most important decision for this team with 6, whether they trade back, whether they draft. But Tom, I appreciate you calling in. I really enjoyed the call. Thank you so much. Tom? Is he there?
Tom, do we lose him? Tom.
Well, I think we lost. But Tom,
he's a legend.
Thank you so much. Shut the hell up and keep your comments to yourself. We got to go to break. When we get back, I want to talk about the Jalen Carter stuff. You're such a dick, by the way. We'll get to the Jalen Carter agent stuff. I want to take a few more phone calls, and then we'll go to Mailbag at 9:50. But before we go, I got to tell you about my friends at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10-8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. Their amazing stylists will take care of you like they always take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. A Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health. and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Let me tell you guys about opening day, because we will be down there Thursday. Join Woodward Sports and the family and 100,000 other sports fans for the biggest party for Detroit's home opener. We will be broadcasting live from the Grand Slam Festival at 350 Madison from the biggest tent party in the D. Check in for Woodward Sports and with Woodward Sports at the block party with Brass Rail, Love, and 8 Tequila and Annex. Baseball season is here, and there's only one city that can handle Woodward Sports. See you in Detroit. Man, we have the best chat. I don't care about any of the other shows. All the people in the chat right now, man, you guys crack me up. Ask Adam. We're dying during the breaks.
Yeah, don't throw me under the bus. That's a you problem.
I'll take it. I'm dying during the breaks, man. You guys are legends.
Oh God!
Legends.
All right, we're back. Tuesday morning, 9:42. Wrapping up the show. Final stretch of the show. Final 18 minutes. I want to get to the Jalen Carter agent news and take a few calls. So let's start with Jalen Carter, okay? Drew Rosenhaus, the news comes out. They're not speaking to anybody outside of the top 10. Jeff, to me, it's not as big of a deal as probably most would make it out to be. I do think it's a bit of a, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you not understand what your situation is? Like, if Will Anderson says, I'm not talking to teams past 5.
Yeah, you get it. Right.
Fine. But for the guy that showed up to his job interview, got a complete F as a grade for his performance, on tape lying, denying stories, changing stories, speeding tickets, off the field problems, question marks.
Right.
For that guy to be telling me at pick 11 to 15, 18, whatever it is, hey, thank you, but we're not doing any interviews with any of you guys. I don't plan on going outside the top 10, da-da-da-da. Like, you don't have that leverage. Who the fuck are you? I don't care who your agent is. Buddy, the NFL is the biggest hub of collusion if you don't think for a fact that GMs don't talk to each other. And that they don't sit there and say, oh, hell no.
Yeah, they do.
This is real. And you want to go piss off half the league, a third of the league, more than half, more than 2/3 of the league by telling them, hey, yeah, I'm not going to be interviewing with you guys.
Do you think this is more Drew Rosenhaus than Jalen Carter?
I don't care.
He's giving him his best advice.
And if I'm Drew Rosenhaus, and if I'm the GM, I'm calling Drew. Drew, what the fuck is wrong with you? I got 7 articles a day, newspapers, you name it, coming out every single day about your kid for the wrong reasons. And you want to sit here and tell me you're not going to fucking take an interview with any one of these GMs after, who I might trade back with, who might move up for your kid?
Do you think there's GMs?
That's not how the NFL works.
Well, do you think there's GMs? And I think there's some, but I think majority. Do you think majority from 10 to, I guess it'd be 31 now? Do you think because they did an interview with Jalen Carter, they would pass on him? Do you think that'd be a realistic thing? Right?
No, I don't think it's that cut and dry.
Right.
But I do think it's a problem, though. And I do half of those teams, I would say yes. I would. And then the other half of that half of them would consider it. The other half would ask a lot of questions.
Of course.
And you're really limiting who will trade up for you if you're available. If you slide past Philly, you think New England's going to draft you? You think the Steelers are going to draft you?
I mean,
you really think that? You think the Packers are going to draft you?
I think there's teams that have cultures in place that wouldn't mind bringing in Jalen Carter, and I think that's real. Because you can't deny the talent. I get the frustration, who does he think he is? I get all that. You'd like a guy who bombed his pro day and has all the legal trouble to interview with a plethora of teams. I understand that. But the reality is, he was widely regarded as the best player. He should be a top 10 pick. Now, if he falls past 10, I think Drew Rosenhaus even knows we don't have to interview with these teams. Somebody's going to take you.
I
agree with him.
But is that ideal?
I mean,
morally, you don't
no.
think it's helpful to go interview with those mid-level teams, right? The mid-draft teams, and actually improve your, I would say, your credit score, basically.
You're right. Morally,
so you go get more opportunities to save face, basically, right now. And instead of doing that, hey, I'm an arrogant son of a bitch with off the field problems. Here's another reason why you shouldn't draft me. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. Again, is that the deal breaker why they should not or should not draft him? I don't believe that to be the case, no. I'm not going to not draft him because he doesn't take an interview, but I don't think it helps. Optically, it doesn't look right.
I agree with that. It just
doesn't look right.
If me or you were Jalen Carter, you're probably, you want to talk to all those teams.
You're taking those interviews,
of course,
and you're trying to hit one of them because GMs talk, and the GM that you did an interview with at 19, let's say, said, boy, we were actually blown away. I was shocked. He actually handled himself very well, answered very tough questions, was honest, was sincere about his mistakes. I was impressed. And then that gets leaked to the guy at 13, 11, 10, 9, 8. And they're like, oh, well,
but
maybe, because that guy at 19 is a really good interviewer. If he interviewed well there, hey, maybe we should reconsider Jalen Carter. Like, I'm sorry.
What if you flip it?
What if
you flip it and the teams he interviewed in the top 10, he interviews well? And teams that let's say he falls, but they're like, I don't trust the character, I don't trust the legal issues. He falls, and teams are like, how's Jalen Carter? And teams are like, he interviewed pretty well.
Yeah, I guess that could work in thery. Yeah.
So it could go either way. Like they're going to communicate.
I just don't think it's good optically. That's all. I'm not saying it works in his favor or against him.
Right.
I just don't think optically it looks great.
I understand that.
It's not a good look for a guy that's already struggling.
To me, it won't affect him too much. But I guess if you want to kind of have a little better PR around you, if you want to improve your PR a little bit, then yeah, Jalen Carter should interview with more teams. But hey, he doesn't have to. So we'll see where he falls. That's one of the storylines I'm most excited for. I cannot wait for this draft in about a month, or less than a month, actually. Like
we got 23 days.
Yeah, I cannot
Are you out
wait.
Next week?
I am. I actually didn't tell the audience this either.
You fucking bitch.
Yeah, I am unfortunately out next week. I'm getting my tonsils removed. So
sucking too much dick.
No, get your ass. I knew that was coming. I mean, am I shocked? Am I shocked? No, I'm not.
Oh, God.
But yes, I got to go under. Yeah, I got to get my tonsils removed. So I'll be out next week, unfortunately. So
I'll be performing the operation. Thank you very much. Do they let you keep your tonsils, by the way?
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that a thing?
You don't keep. Why? Now you got the chat going, dude. You're right. By the way, Josh, you were right. I did walk into that. So, it is what it is.
All right, well, look, I'm wishing you the best. It's going to be a rough week without you, but, we'll have some fun here.
Oh, I'm going to be...
you better be in the chat.
I'm going to be itching. I will be in the
Every
chat.
take that you like, I'm going to make sure we talk about next week.
Okay.
Oh, God. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, Monday it happens.
Monday through Friday next week.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what we're going to do. I'm not going to share it with you guys yet, but I think it's going to be a fun week. We'll make the most of it. It's going to be weird without my favorite person, and I have a pretty strong stance on this. I'm sure you watch this show or most shows nationally. They like to, substitute fill-ins and get different guys in just to, kill the time.
Right.
But I think I'm going to refuse to work with anybody outside of Jeff. It's either I'm doing the show or I'm not doing it at all. Yeah, so I'm doing it with Jeff or nobody else.
See,
nice. That's how
whose
that's
character
working.
I don't question? Adham Beydoun.
So
there you go. I'll draft you at 6.
That's my guy.
I'll draft you at 6.
So if anybody at this network tries calling my phone in the next 2 to 3 days and convincing me of getting somebody in the fill-in chair, go fuck yourselves. It's not gonna happen. I'll tell you guys that from now. Anyways, we'll take a break. When we get back, let's get to Mailbag. We'll answer all of your questions coming up next at 9:50. Drop them in the chat. Jeff and I will get to them. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Let me tell you about them. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now they have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports fans for their limited edition 6-pack. Only $15 plus free shipping. Head to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and try it today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Alta. Uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. If you missed the show today live, you can always go back, download the podcast after the fact, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the Morning Woodward Show. We'll start with Mailbag. Jeff, question, who do we want to start with?
Real quick, by the way, thank you to everyone saying, hope the recovery goes well. Dirty Burrito, feel better. Hope recovery goes well. I almost had to have my tonsils removed.
That's nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna stink, but it is what it is. So the first thing I asked actually when
ice cream, right?
Well, yeah, I mean it's smooth, all the like yogurt and all the, you can't chew anything for the first couple days. But the first thing I asked, that's stupid, I know, but I was so scared. I go, will my voice be affected?
Oh yeah, no.
I was like, this is what and he goes, no, your voice will not be affected. I'm like, okay, we're good. That's all I needed to know.
Jeff's gonna be swallowing. A lot of swallowing his
okay,
first few days. Yogurt,
no.
Ice cream.
No.
Can't chew on anything, so just straight swallowing.
Pause.
I'm for it, man.
Thank you, JB. Well, JB, Jesus. All right. I don't know whether to say thank you or no, because I'm not doing that.
What's the worst surgery for adults? Personally, right? It depends on your age group. So I'm going to go with mine. I'm 29 years old. I think one of the worst things to do is to have any kind of knee construction surgery. ACL, MCL, knee replacements, anything like that. It's really 2 months of hell where you're really limited in movement. I've experienced that before. I had my ACL done in 2013, I think. 2012, 2013. I was 19 years old, I think. And that was fucking hell. So I can't imagine doing it now when I'm so busy, have a kid on the way, work, all this stuff. I had my appendix taken out when I was a kid.
Ooh.
Appendix sucks. A lot of pain. But then they remove it and you're like good as new. It's a weird operation.
Yeah, I've actually never had any surgery.
You know what the appendix is for, by the way?
What is it for?
It's to help you chew down on bark.
What?
And that's like what humans used to do for some reason. I'm pretty sure this is real. Like, that was the point of the appendix, to help you digest trees, I think. Somebody correct me. I could be totally wrong. I'm pretty sure it's right.
Can we get that confirmed?
I'm pretty sure I'm right. And wow. It sucks. It sucks.
I've never had surgery. Never been injured playing sports. I'm very, very lucky. I mean, the worst injuries I've had are, playing basketball, ankle injuries, turning my ankle. But never any surgery.
Kidney stones suck.
Kidney stones.
Any back surgery.
Jesus.
I don't care what age you are. Anything back surgery related. My advice: if you can fucking avoid it, avoid it.
I have a bad...
It is so risky. It is so hit or miss, man.
I have a bad lower back, and that's what everybody tells me.
Why?
Like, it is what it is. I don't know. But the first thing they say is, don't get surgery. Do PT.
Yep.
PT is the way to go. Yeah, kidney stones are bad, man. That's probably one of my, I don't know, especially for men.
I'm pretty sure I'm right, by the way. Everybody's agreeing. That's my fucking point. I'm pretty sure it's meant for bark consumption. For some stupid reason. It's the most useless thing in your body. And by the way, when I had my surgery, really creepy fact, by the way, It was like they rushed me to the hospital because of how bad it was, and we didn't know what it was. I got there on the table, literally as they're operating on me. They cut it, they take it out, and it fucking explodes inside of the little container they put it on.
Well, they don't want it to explode.
And if it would have exploded inside of me,
you could have died.
Very good chance I die. Yeah. Talk about fucked.
So that's why you're...
Also, I've had hand reconstruction surgery.
Why?
For any of you that didn't know. This was 78 stitches, I think, just in the middle of my palm.
What happened?
I was working with my dad. I was helping him move some stuff around at a construction. He's a contractor at a site he was doing. And we were pulling off tiles off the bathroom wall. And it's those... For any of you that really know this... I don't think you'll know this, Jeff. It's the really old tiles that have the steel mesh behind them that would put whatever concrete plant, whatever the fuck they would put to stick it on the wall. It was that strict mesh, and I lifted it off, and the whole fucking wall came off, and I couldn't hold it. Obviously, I was like 13 years old, 14, and it fell right on my hand, and literally went through my hand, and they had to like fix my pinky and whatever this finger is. This finger. Neither of them worked. It took like 8 months to fucking get it to work.
So you couldn't, like it's your right hand. Like
no, I figured it out. I was getting head at 13. What are you talking about?
Oh my!
I'd have
God,
girls come to the
dude.
house, visit me. Hey mom, they're just here to check on me. 2
Different
minutes
girls
later,
every week.
they fucking leave.
Like, well, okay.
Easiest time of my life.
Why do you have all these female friends? What's going on?
Oh my God. You guys are awful. Oh God,
man.
All right, what other questions do we have?
A lot of surgery things. Gary says I had to have lower back surgeries, and they the best. Severe pain and walking out feeling great. 2 herniated discs. Oh, well,
that's awful.
Glad you're doing great, Gary.
That's awful. Adam, did you cry? All right, so
Did you
I
cry?
didn't actually, and I don't know why I didn't. It was numb. I didn't feel pain. Like my whole hand was fucking numb. I tore both tendons and this part of my hand, and I just didn't feel anything. It wasn't pain. I didn't cry. I was just like staring at my dad like clueless with a towel on it.
Probably in shock, to be honest.
And then we didn't know that it was really bad until we got to the hospital. And I'm like this, and they're looking at it. They're debating whether they're going to stitch it up. And they're like, hey, why don't you move your fingers for us? And I do this, and like these 2 fingers aren't going down. So I'm like, oh no. I felt like Spider-Man, but my fingers weren't working. It was a fucking disaster.
Have you seen, I forgot what scary movie it was, but where the guy reaches out the window with a messed up hand, and he's like, grab my hand. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, scary movie.
That's what his hand looked like, bro.
It was bad.
People will understand that reference if you
want to like get personal for a second. That's one of my dad's like that really hurts him to this day.
Oh my gosh.
That like kills my dad that even happened.
So
that's one of his like biggest regrets in life.
I see this, and I wanted to read it. Derek Lewis says, I got hit in the face with a sledgehammer when I was 6. I don't know what that story entails of, but wow.
I'm sorry. I hope your face is normal. That is awful.
And by the way, it's Scary Movie 2. Thank you guys in the chat.
That is awful.
Some people have seen that movie.
That is awful. Man.
Mailbag, Danny, what's your favorite type of ice cream? Danny Bennett, my man.
I take Jeff for a vanilla guy.
What? What?
You don't like?
Where would you get that assumption at?
Well, you swallow a lot.
Oh,
and,
God,
vanilla.
Dude. Here we go. It keeps coming back.
I am a very simple man when it comes to this, actually. I'm a chocolate guy. I just straight chocolate. I don't like the fancy stuff, the Oreo, any of that shit. I like a standard chocolate ice cream. That's it.
Of course, yeah.
That's my go-to.
You like chocolate.
Chocolate chip, I don't mind either.
Yeah, give me cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream solid from like DQ or whatever.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, those are solid.
So you were kind of right, vanilla, but throw some cookies in there.
No, man.
Come on, I don't know why, but actually that's terrible because cookies and cream. I'm surprised Adam didn't throw that one up too. But we're good. I survived that.
I don't know your
I survived
sex,
that.
I don't know
one,
your
guys.
sex pool and your demographic.
Okay.
So here we
right,
are.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Oh God, that was a fun show. That was a really fun show. Thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it as always. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are officially at 41K. Let's get a 42 sooner than later. We'll be back tomorrow on a beautiful Wednesday. I have some stories to tell from tonight. I have some plans tonight that I'll tell you guys tomorrow morning. It's going to be fun. But till tomorrow, you all take care. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Be safe. We're out of here.